Hey guys, it's Nemo and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be having a look at the HMS Monarch. I want to thank Arthur Lyon, who I believe is one of my subscribers, for the request on finishing the Royal Navy battleship line. It feels weird because I'm more of a cruiser destroyer main, but I do like the Royal Navy, the line. The Royal Navy line is really good. It's nice and comfortable to play. I enjoy it thoroughly, especially the King George. Now, today with the Monarch, this ship is completely stock. But this battle, it got the point across. It proved what I needed to get across to you guys, that this stock battleship is actually pretty good. Now, we're mid-tier, which is strange, because usually in a tier 8 ship you will be bottom tier. But it's a tier 9 battle, which is really good. Doesn't always happen. You're more likely to play tier 10, as I said, and rarely you'll be top tier. But you can deal with it. The line can deal with it very well. It has an extremely good concealment of 10.9. Now that will be getting nerfed in the next patch, because you won't have the, I think it's 14% concealment on the captain's skill. It'll go to 10% only, so your concealment will get nerfed, but you're still going to have an excellent concealment. You've got these 381mm guns on the stock ship anyway, which do their job, and at the detection you have, they do their job very well. Now I'm turning left here. My division mate Howie, we both ran Monarchs on this battle, and he said, you know, you're going to need to turn out left because otherwise I'm going to crash into you. And I was going to go a little bit closer, and having a look and seeing the Yuga mode there, I thought, maybe that's not a bad idea. You know, it's only 11.5 kilometers away from where I was, and so I thought I'll turn out. I wanted to get closer, but sometimes getting a bit closer can get you torped. Now, my advice to any Royal Navy battleship player is start the game with armor piercing loaded. And the reason you want to start with armor piercing loaded is that, and there's Howie's shots from behind me, we coordinated shots on this at poor Ibuki. The reason you want to start with armor piercing loaded is that everybody sees a Royal Navy battleship and they immediately turn broadside and derp around in front of you, because their number one thought is, oh, well, it's a Royal Navy battleship, he's got high explosive loaded. And the amount of times that you catch ships out like that Ibuki, how he just, you know, hit him with the AP really hard on his first salvo, is incredible. So you want to, it's a great surprise for enemy ships, and you have the short fuse armor piercing, so that means that you don't need as thick armor to go through to arm. What happens is that because it's short fuse, though, it doesn't always go into the ship as far, because you'll hit and then you'll detonate almost pretty soon. So when you are firing, for example, cruisers versus destroyers and things like that, pardon me, will really hit a destroyer very hard, because it's got the short fuse armor piercing, which does a lot of damage to lightly armored ships. But Royal Navy AP, it's just the same as every other ship. Learning the secret of, or the art, I guess, of knowing which shells you want to use. Now, I'd swapped to the high explosive there because we saw the Musashi coming down. I actually wanted to fire at him, but then the Ibuki put himself there and sat there. AP would have done a lot of damage on him. I think it probably would have even finished him. So I am moving down here because I know that the Yugamo is still lurking around, and he's only 10 kilometers away. If you see an enemy destroyer at 10 kilometers away as a battleship, you've just got to try for it, have a go at him. And then there's the shots you just saw from the Musashi. They hit me pretty hard, and that's why I'm starting to kite a little bit. But if I can just keep the Musashi at arm's length, see, it's relatively short range at the moment with the stock, but when you upgrade you can get your guns out to 18.1 kilometers, and I think 18.1 kilometers for a battleship as stealthy as the Monarch is very good. Now when I think about the Monarch and the King George V at tier 7, tier for tier, the King George V is hands down a better ship. She's got 10 guns compared to the 9 guns that the Monarch has. But the thing that makes her better is the fact that she gets the better matchmaking. Now this is relatively good matchmaking for a tier 8 ship. And you know, as I said earlier on, tier 8 ships just get absolutely appalling matchmaking. One of my favourite ships in the entire game is the USS Kidd. I love it. I really do. I enjoy playing it, but I don't like playing it, and same with the Cossack. I love the Cossack too, but I don't like playing them because they get appalling matchmaking. See, the Kidd, the Cossack has an advantage at 5.5 kilometers of surface detection, which gives it a massive advantage, but it's very soft and it can get wrecked quite easily. And that's the problem with the Monarch, is that a lot of people don't like the Monarch, not because she's a meh ship. I mean, tier for tier she's not as good as the King George, but you get that, yeah, you get that really appalling matchmaking, and that's the only thing I think that lets the Monarch down, is the really bad matchmaking. Now, I'm firing a lot of high explosive here because if I can get these battleships on fire, it'll be really helpful. Howie and I have been communicating and coordinating throughout the match. Now, what we've been saying, I'm not sure. We played this game. It was before the Christmas holidays started, so this might even be, I think it was at the beginning of patch 7.12. It might have been the end of patch 7.11, or it might have been the beginning of 7.12. Now, the reason we're firing high explosive is we knew that this Iowa had damage conned already. So you have such a great chance of setting fires with Royal Navy that if you see you know, a destroyer has torpedoed a ship, or there's a fire and he puts it out, and burn him again. Just burn him. You've got that really great high explosive chance. A lot of people are going to call you noobs and stuff for firing high explosive, but why? Why call someone a noob when they're utilising the game mechanics properly? I mean, if that Iowa was broadside, you'd load up the armour piercing, and then you'd hit him hard with the armour piercing while he's broadside, but while he's bow in, why not use that 1/4 pen plus extremely great fire chance on your Royal Navy battleship to burn him, make him force him to use his damage control. Don't worry about people saying, oh, you're a noob and that because you're firing high explosive. We want to win in the game mechanics, using the game mechanics, so let's use the game mechanics to their full potential. Let's go for it. If we can burn stuff, let's burn it. Once they're burning, then swap to AP and really take them out. Now, I didn't want to go too far forward here, and I actually wanted to turn around and go over the other side. And then I realised how he was pushing up hard, and I was still detected. I was going to be detected for a while because 1, I had just fired, 2, I was on fire, so my detection was a lot higher, so I thought I may as well just keep firing at these guys and see what damage I can do. It wasn't the Bismarck that had me worried, it was the Musashi coming around. And if the Musashi doesn't have as great an accuracy as what the Yamato does, but she still has the same caliber guns, and if she can hit you, she will hit you hard. And so I thought, well, I just want to leg it and get out of here. And I also noticed the other side of our team, where the Izumo and the CV, the Ranger, where I was like, oh, there's an Asasio down there who's going to get them and they're going to fall down, so I wanted to head over there to try and help. I noticed that Howie got stuck in a really rough position where he was. He had battleships on around him, he had the aircraft carrier above him, so he was trying to do damage to the Bismarck as well, but in the end he gets caught, and he does go down here soon. And I'm just trying to kite away and burn these guys. And as a Royal Navy battleship, you can do that. And if I wanted to, I probably could have tried to go dark, except the Bismarck was pushing too hard, and so I couldn't. So if you're spotted, you may as well fire anyway, and that's what makes me a little bit worried, was that... whoa, look at that, from the Musashi. Gee, that hurts. Musashi, when they play top tier, has an absolute field day. And here, if the Bismarck is running a full secondary build, and he's running secondary flags, he can get his secondary batteries out to 11.3 kilometers, which is huge. I mean, you get stuck in that. All that little whittling fire there is, and then 281 damage on that, but sets me on fire. That is one thing that is weak about Royal Navy battleships. You have 25 millimeters of armor, so you can get penetrated with high explosive quite easily, and you do burn very easily. Royal Navy battleships might be able to dish out a lot of fire, but they will burn easy and quickly. So here I was trying to see if I could hold out until I got my heel up, but I wasn't gonna be able to, and so I had to pop the damage con, try and get some more shots off. I switched to the high explosive because if I can just get a fire on, hopefully I can burn the Bismarck. He's already damage conned, and we wanted to see if he'd go down after this, and we get the fire, and then the Musashi right up our backside puts us down. But one fire was okay. He's got two fires on him, the Bismarck, and we just wanted to see if we could burn him right down. So yeah, that was a great shot. Bismarck's not known for its accuracy and has very fast shells, but yeah, that hurts a lot. So what do I think about the Monarch? Well, you saw that game there, and that's completely stock. She's pretty good. She's not as good as the King George V. And my reasons for that were exactly that. She gets poor matchmaking. This is not bad matchmaking right here. Tier 9, Tier 8 and Tier 7 games. But it really is more exception than rule. Wargaming have said that they want to try and fix that up. They're not going to tell us the coding or the algorithm or whatever, or how many games you've got to play bottom tier before you go to top tier. There was a Waterline episode not long ago where they said, you know, we've noticed that a lot of tier 8 ships play too many tier 10 games. You know, you might play out of 10 games, you'll get one where you are top tier, and then the rest you're either bottom tier, or you might get one top tier, one mid tier, and then the rest at bottom tier, which is really, it's a shame. It's really annoying, and it puts a lot of people off playing tier 8. This Benson does really well here. This is one thing that I actually want to show you a video one day I've got of me in my Jutland where I am detected by Hydro from, I think it's a Z46, and I managed to kill him in the smoke. He's firing at me, I fire back and hit him in the smoke, and I can't see him. He can see me perfectly well because I'm in his Hydro range, and I get him and kill him. And I want to show you that sort of thing. If you can learn to smoke fire, you have such an advantage over, well, everyone. Yeah, because they can, and a lot of people treat smoke as hard cover. One thing to remember, guys, is that smoke is not hard cover. And I've had guys who, I remember one player, I was in the King George V, and he was sitting broadside in his smoke in a Fiji, just sitting there firing away, you know, happily and shooting at battleships and things, and he couldn't see me, but I had the spotter plane up and I could see him, and I ended up citadelling him, killing him. And so, you know, smoke firing is a good skill. Now, I sort of annoyed myself a bit here, you know, trying to tell these guys what to do. Sometimes you get nervous at the end of a game and you just want to tell them what they should be doing, but a lot of guys who come to the end game, and this Benson did really well, I think, and Gadget didn't do too bad either, and even though he spotted here. Sometimes it's you know, it's not their first rodeo, but it's just that reaction of, oh, it's so close, you know, this is what, if we do this we'll win. And so I wasn't annoyed at myself at the time, but going back and watching this video to do a commentary for you, I was like, shut up, Nemo. So, but this battle did get quite nerve-wracking. It's 2 caps each. It's 2 destroyers versus 2 battleships now. That should be a no-brainer. You know, there's almost 200 points in the game. There's 2 DDs versus 2 battleships. Yes, the Bismarck has hydro, but you know, stealth, torpedoes, yeah, it's not fun. It would not have been fun for these guys on the other side, these 2 battleship players. And we thought actually that this Musashi was going to turn to the left, like go port and dodge all these, but then he turned starboard, and oh, that's disgusting to see as a battleship player. He would have seen them late as well, being deep water torps. And that's one of the things that you keep an eye on. See how that big puff of steam came out of the funnel there, the smoke funnel? If you keep an eye on that, you can tell when someone's used their damage control, and obviously he's used his straight away because it went out. And one thing you can do is when you're torping, or you can see with anything like that, then yeah, you can. That's a good indicator to see if they're flooding. And then once they put that out, then you just start burning them. So as you know, Howie said in there, he said smoke up and start firing and I said, you know, while the Benson spots. And they actually worked really well, even though we were telling them what to do. And then Howie says that, you know, we love you guys. Yeah, we love those guys because they were doing what we thought they should do, but it's probably not their first rodeo. My only problem with this would be is that the Gadger stays too long in his smoke. That's the only thing I think that he's done wrong at the moment, and unfortunately he goes down because of it. But both of them played very well, and permafire there, that's what you want. That's what you want. Now the Musashi this time, when you're charging a smoke, it's so much different. You know that there'll be torpedoes coming across your bow, so you turn and you change your course, and then they could have had like this brilliantly timed cross drop with the torpedoes. It would have been amazing, but yeah, unfortunately. And I don't know what the Bismarck was doing. You know, the Bismarck here could have come. If I was the Bismarck, I probably would have come down with the Musashi, because you've got the hydro. You've got the hydro allowing you to be able to spot for the Musashi, and yes, you know, you might not turn out in time. You still might eat one, but you're not going to eat a whole heap of them. Musashi gets lucky there. He had his damage repair ready to go, his repair party, and yeah, lucky for that. And there, like, unfortunately there, the Gadget is just too long in the smoke. I probably wouldn't have stayed in the smoke that long, knowing that he was charging. I probably would have let it go to my detection, and then I would have, you know, got out of there as quick as I could. Lucky for us though, even though we're getting a cap flipped, it's 20 seconds to go, and it's just, we're all sitting there Um, we're just hoping for the best. And then the gadget says, I wasn't watching my smoke time, and one thing you got to keep an eye on. But otherwise, as I said, like, he did well, and so did the Benson. We won, and it was great that night. Actually, Howie and I played, I think we played 4 or 5 battles, double Monarch, and we won them all, so that was really pleasing. Oh, anyway, let's have a look. 109,549, not too bad. 5 fires, 46 shell hits. We didn't do that much in the game, and we didn't finish on the bottom. We got 5th there, which is pretty good. And then the Benson there did really well and finished on top. So we'll have a look at the modules. I'm running the Lion though, because I sold the Monarch, so it's the same thing though. So we want main armaments mod 1 to protect all our guns and make sure we don't lose them, because you can lose your guns really badly. We're going to go with damage control system 2 to put out fires earlier. AA is okay, but no, aiming systems is better. Aiming systems means that you're a bit more accurate. I've gone with the damage control mod 2. Now propulsion would work as well, but I like to get my fires and floodings out. You do burn really easily, as I said, in Royal Navy battleships. And then the final one is Concealment Expert. Now you can't actually run the main battery mod 3 on a tier 8 ship, so that's why we're just having a look at the Lion here, and we went through the skills that we can run. Now my captain skills, I'm running a new captain, so he's only 11 points. We want priority target to know who's firing at us, whether we can do silly turns or not. You don't want to do silly turns in the first place, but expert marksman, because it's the Burt Dunkirk, so I'm going to be using his skill as much as I can. His traverse speed of his turrets is a lot better than an average captain. Then I've gone with basics of survivability, again for firefighting and recovery from flooding. And it also helps you repair modules, and modules including your guns. So I've done with that over anything else. Then Concealment Expert, because we want to get that down as low as we can. And remember, it will change, it won't be 14% anymore. If I was going to go with the rest of a 19-point captain, I would run fire prevention, get those fires down, AR, so when your health does get really low, then you can just start firing a lot quicker. High alert to get that damage control party up, and then preventative maintenance is a good one, or I'd run the expert loader, because that is also a really good skill. Anyway guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.